and welcome back to White Noise Podcast with me, Leanna, and my lovely co-host Sky. Today we're going to be talking about the beginning of the end of Attack on Titan, which,
if you couldn't tell,
watching on YouTube explains our costumes. If you're listening anywhere else, you're kind of missing out on these.
You might hear our
costumes.
You might hear the swishing of our capes. That's what's going on.
It was a long wait. We finally made it. I honestly thought it was going to be an even longer wait than it was. And the way everyone was complaining about it, you would think they'd been waiting 5 bloody years.
I think it's been about 2,000 years. That's what's going on, Leanna.
But yeah, anyhow, should we start with our initial reactions to this, beginning of the end, as I put it?
Wow. So just before we started recording today, I went back just to look at our Attack on Titan episode that we released last year. Just because for anyone who listened to, but more importantly watched that one, I was absolutely sloshed. I was so drunk in it because, and I blame you for this, Leanna, because basically we had, as usual, I've picked a certain point in the day to record, and Leanna wasn't ready yet, and I had a bottle of wine, possibly 2 at my disposal. So I sat, watched Attack on Titan, and drank glass after glass after glass. And if you go back and look at that episode on YouTube, you'll see just how big those glasses were. So anyway, as the episode goes on, it's fine. I get a bit more coherent. But right at the beginning, my eyes weren't even open. Anyway, so I had to go back to double check that I still believed everything I said in that episode. And I do, apart from a couple of things. And the main thing is, I said that I didn't want this final part to be a film. I had my reasons. I do think they were good reasons. However, at the time, I didn't realise that my only 2 options were either a series or a massively long episode split into 2 parts. Mm-hmm. If I had known, I definitely would have chosen film.
Yeah, I feel the exact same way. I don't really understand this format. Let's start out with that, yeah? So for anyone listening who's not watched the show, which would be really weird, go watch it. Basically, this final part, which in itself you could meme about all bloody day, because they've been saying the final part for 4 years now. It's basically, this final part is 2 hour-long episodes, which is essentially just 6 episodes. They could have just anyway, the pacing was a bit weird to me because it felt like episodes that were slammed together to make something larger, and they filled in some gaps. And I felt like if they were going to do this longer pacing, just do a film. Film. It would be more satisfying. You could put it in theaters, which the fans would love. I honest to God just do not understand why they did it this way. There's no benefit.
Some of the fans did, which I actually really loved. I saw people who worked in cinemas or just booked out a whole screening to show it, and I loved that because that was great. Because don't get me wrong, I did think this was a good episode. Was it worth the wait? Not yet. I think the next episode is going to be really, it fucking has to be. It's the last one. It's going to be really good. This one, I agree with you. And we even talked about just the whole of season 4 having this problem. The pacing was strange.
Yeah.
It was fast and slow at the weirdest parts. I think the beginning of this episode was insane. So good. Oh my God. Can we just
5-10 minutes were
it started to feel
brilliant.
Like a film. I think that's when I was like, fuck, I was wrong. This definitely should have been a film. But then instead of I don't know, continuing to go up or continuing to go down, it went down and then up again. And it's like you said, it's because it's still it's a long form episode format, not a film. And because of that, they had to have a cutoff point. And that cutoff point was really strange.
It just definitely wasn't written to be an hour-long episode. You could so tell that they at one point went, actually, let's make this into 2 hours.
Mush it into 2. Yeah.
And if they had got the pacing right, I could really get into it. Let's make a really cinematic ending, but we don't think we want to do 1 2-hour thing. Let's do 2 hour-long episodes, because at the end of the day, this is a show and we want to end it with episodes, even if they're long episodes. That makes sense from the producer's standpoint. But from a creative standpoint, that's not including the visuals. The visuals were incredible. I honestly Mappa really did up their game, but the writing, I just felt it was weak. And I mean, I've just kind of felt like the pacing for a lot of season 4 has not been the one. The rumbling is supposed to be, oh my God, the immediacy, oh my God, urgency. It's they're fucking around. Like, I'm honestly, at this point, we've spent hours watching them piss about. And I understand, like, oh, maybe what we're seeing over this time is actually happening in a tight time frame, but it's not coming across that way. There's no, they literally, I think they should have shaved, sorry, quite a few episodes off, because now it's just starting to feel like it's taking the piss a bit.
I agree. I do think this is kind of like the curse of anime, though. Like
Yeah.
it's like when you get those giant battles between the antagonist and the protagonist, and they just spend a whole 20 minutes
Yeah.
talking, and it's meant to be like in those 20 minutes, seconds have passed. So like, even though I completely agree with you, I do kind of get it up until this hour-long episode. Like, I forgave everything that happened in season 4, especially because I did what I said I was going to do. Like, oh god, this is where I'm going to get confused. There's too many parts. This is part 3, right? This episode's part 3.
Yeah.
Okay, so part 2 of season 4 is the first time I had ever watched week to week, because before that I had just been in situations, like, I have been watching Attack on Titan from the beginning, but I had just been in situations where they had all been out at the time, so I was able to watch them. So going from having like that whole chunk of time of my whole life just being Attack on Titan for months, just watching it day after day after day, and then having to wait week to week was really shocking for me.
Yeah.
And I think it kind of ruined my experience of season 4. Like, I didn't regret it at all, because I said, like, in the last episode, I would have had spoilers from it, because, you know, I haven't read the manga. And I didn't want that, and I was really happy to be a part of, like, you know, the online community of everybody watching it. It was really fun. But on the flip side, the first few episodes of season 4, much like the first part of this episode, were really good. They were really intense, and then it kind of plateaued for a while. And like, this is like, I know some people who have listened to a couple of episodes we've done recently are going to be like, oh, but you this is the opposite of what you said when you were talking about Skinamarink. Different media forms, my friend. Different media forms.
I completely agree with you. And
so
especially because Skinamarink slow, but you sat down to watch like hour and a half, 2 hours of slowness. Fucking when you're waiting week to week, you expect a little bit of something. Like, I can accept when I'm watching week to week, oh, the old episodes can be a bit slower. I mean, look at Last of Us. But for the most part, I want to know week to week something's going to happen. Do you know what I mean? And it's just season 4 has kind of like betrayed a lot of viewers in that way, I'd say.
I would say like 60 to 70% of season 4 was really slow.
Yeah, I would say the same.
It was like,
it's not like a complete waste of time. It's not like it's filler. Like, it's all important stuff. But it's almost felt like 3 episodes worth could be 2 episodes worth. Do you know what I mean? I've just been a bit like frustrated. So I think personally, don't get me wrong, I was so excited, but kind of went into this a bit wary, because I was rewatching like bits of season 4 to kind of like, you know, get back into mind space. And when I was watching them, I was like, fuck me, this is slow. I don't know how I put up with it. I don't know how I did it. But then, just, I don't know. This was, I hate to say, I was a little bit underwhelmed.
I was underwhelmed as well. But do you know what? Do you know the thing that's keeping me going? This is either going to be proven or not. You know, cut back to this when the last part actually does come out. I'm hoping it was done intentionally, because the next part is it's it, Leanna.
Oh, it will be bonkers. It will be bonkers.
So I will forgive it. I will even forgive every slow part or bit that dragged in season 4 if this last episode gives me what I want. I need the emotion. I need the intensity. Because the thing is, it's the last episode now. You can do whatever the fuck you. I mean, obviously, I know you can't. There is a manga. We're following a story. I know that. But for us anime only watchers, you can do whatever the fuck you want. You can kill whoever the fuck you want. There's no consequence.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong, this episode did it, and like, it was incredible. We are definitely going into spoiler territory now, by the way. You have had your warning. But like, the death that happened in this episode, Hanj, don't get me wrong, devastating, but it didn't have an impact that a lot of other deaths have had. Would you agree?
No.
Really?
Okay, so yes, I do agree it hasn't had the impact that other deaths have had, but it still got me, because the song choice, the visuals of it, I would say it was impactful. My only disagreement with it is how it felt really oddly placed in the episode.
Yeah, I agree. Like, in an hour-long episode, we're just going to place it, like, what was it? It was like 25 minutes? I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but like, I was like, this feels really weird that something so massive is happening in the middle of an hour-long
Yeah. I was going to say, do you know what? If they had just stuck to, because the thing is as well, this was split into it's being called Attack on Titan the final chapters. It literally had chapter 1 and then chapter 2 just after Hanji's death. So that was an episode. If that had been an episode on its own and then I had gone away and had to wait for another week, I would have been like, it would have hit me more.
I agree.
But it was just skipped over. It was
every
other you're right. I just said no, I disagree. I do agree with you, because every other person's death has had that impact of like, even though when I saw other characters' deaths, like I said, I was watching it one after the other, I still had that end of the episode before I went to the next one. So it was like a finality.
I mean, look at fucking Erwin's death. Like, that was incredible because you had that, like, you know, oh my fuck, what now? Do you know what I mean? Whereas with Hanji, it was like, oh, we got to crack on, baby. Like, so there was not, it wasn't given enough weight. You know, like, don't get me wrong, everyone's like devastated for like a second, and then they're like, let's go. Like,
do you know, you're right. I think it's just because they did it dirty. Like, they deserve so much, like, just more lingering. Like, don't get me wrong, like, everybody, you know, you saw like everyone crying in the plane, and like I could I still felt that emotion of fuck, they have grown up with this person. Like, they are not just like soldiers together, they are friends, they are family. So I still felt that, but then it was like, it was like, okay, I'm moving up. Okay.
It just felt so opposite to like Sasha, because if you think about Sasha's death, episodes afterwards, people are still mourning her and talking about her, and like all the stuff from Niccolo and Sasha's family, and, you know, seeing like Gab. Like, I understand that happened because it had to, due to like the direction Gabby was going. You know, the way Hajime Isayama wrote it, he like used, it was clever. Sasha didn't just die for no reason, you know, like, he's such a good writer in that way. He did the same with Erwin's death for Armin, blah blah blah. And it's like Hanji's death was more because Hanji needed to die in that moment, but it doesn't feel like it's doing anything for anyone else just yet. Maybe for Armin, because obviously they asked Armin to be commander.
Can we talk about that? We talk about that? I disagree with the choice to make him commander.
Why do you think Levi?
No, Jean. Right. So hear me out. Okay, Armin should not be a leader. He is too selfless. He is not strong enough to be a leader. He's incredibly smart, and he's an amazing strategist. So yeah, he definitely needs to be
like a right-hand man. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. A commander. No,
Yeah, you're right.
And it was really proven. I know he wasn't the only one who said it, but it was proven when the Colossal Titans were coming, and everyone was like, I volunteer as tribute. I volunteer as tribute. It's like, fucking shut up. Some of you are so important, you cannot volunteer, right? Yeah. And Armin is one of those people. And it's like, don't get me wrong, I know some people are like, oh, but it made sense because he has the Colossal Titan. At the end of the day, he is one Colossal Titan. There are millions heading towards them. Anyone fighting them would have died. They knew whoever was volunteering was gonna die.
Yeah, suicide mission.
So, exactly. And like, I know that Erwin died on a suicide mission, but that was when he was back to a corner. He didn't have a choice. So I feel like making Armin commander just doesn't make sense. He's too selfless, and I think Jean should have done it, because Jean is a leader, and he's also somebody, because this is the thing as well when it comes to people that are in charge. The people who are in charge are never running the show. Right. So you need someone strong who can keep things like above water, and then you need somebody else who's actually running things, and that's who Armin should be. So putting him in the front line don't make sense to me.
Bloody genius for that, honestly. Like, I don't know why that hadn't occurred to me, considering that's like all they fucking bang on about Jean in season 4 is, you're a leader, it's like, shut up. But like, do you know what, I actually think that would have been like a brilliant arc for him, considering in the beginning he just wanted to, you know, join the military police, have a chill life. You're genius. You're such a genius. I bet you there's lots of people that are actually saying the same thing now.
I think there are, because like, I do not think 100% do not think Levi should have been given it. Of course not, because the thing with Levi,
he's a soldier, you know,
he is a soldier, and also he actually doesn't even give a shit about stopping the rumbling anymore. He just wants to kill Zeke and then bye forever. That's his only plan.
Do you know what I really like though about that is that it's a character who's so strong, but it's like, yeah, I'm strong, but like, I have my own goal, you know.
He's like, selfish.
Yeah, exactly.
But I love that.
Kind of, exactly.
He's my boy. I love him. So another thing I want to mention about Levi while I'm on the subject, everybody noticed this, but the fingers comment that he made, they knew what they were doing.
Oh,
But
yeah.
you know what? I didn't realize exactly how much they knew what they were doing. So I thought it was, again, I'm not a manga reader, so manga readers don't get angry with me. I thought it was like, it's fanfare. It was put in there. It's a funny meme. We're going to see it everywhere. No. So I actually never really realized the way that Levi fights. Have you? Did you realize he's pretty much, I'm sure he's the only one who holds his swords behind him a lot of the time to fight. So do you know what that means? He uses his ODM gear with his pinky and his ring finger. So when he said he only needed those two fingers, he meant it.
The strength you would need. How?
That's what I mean. But that's how I went back and looked. If you just look at pictures or you look at clips or just watch the anime again, it's true. That's how a lot of the time that is how he fights.
That attention
like that's how he's
so
holding
cool.
them. But it just means that it's like, again, it just proves how like OP he is, because it's not like, oh, he has to now, because I thought he was like fucked. I mean, I still think he's fucked. We'll get to that in a bit. But I thought he was like a goner, because I was like, how is he gonna fight? Like after season 4, I was like, how is he gonna fight? This man is destroyed. He has no fingers, he's blind, like his face is like falling apart. And that's how, because he had already trained himself to fight that way.
It's just genius.
Incredible. It's just, again, adding it to the list of why Levi is my boy.
It made me realize how much he's been like sat out recently. Like, I mean, like, yeah, because you see him like bumbling around and all his bandages and all that you said, but like actually seeing him like try and get up, and it was, oh yeah, he was fucked up. Pretty bad.
I fucking loved his comment when he was going down the stairs and like Armin was like, no, you can't. And he was like, you'll forget about me if I stay one more day in bed. And I was like,
really liked that, because it's like you forget that like Levi, as cool a character as he is, and as much as everyone loves him, he has also got like, probably has got a bit of an ego. I mean, he's been called humanity's strongest soldier. That's his identity, at this point. So if he can't fight, what can he do? So
but I think that's why I generally do, like I said, I know it makes me a basic bitch, but I love him so much because he does have an ego, but he doesn't hide it. Like he's never claimed, like he is alive by like the sheer will of whatever god that exists in that world, because like he should have died so many times and he knows it. Like that's why he is hit so hard every time one of his comrades dies, because it's not just because he's lost somebody he let himself care about, because he doesn't let himself care about many people. It's because he knows it should have been him. It makes no sense why it wasn't him, and yet here he is. And that's why he's so, apart from the fact he has a vendetta against Zeke, that's why he's so hell-bent on killing him, because it's like, either I'm going to kill you and survive, or I'm going to die trying. And he's fine with that. And I do also definitely think he's going to die trying.
Oh, I don't know. I feel like there'd be too much uproar, but we will see. Like, I am completely
now's the time to do it,
unsure.
because where's the uproar going to come from? The show's done. I think if you had killed him at any other point, this is why I feel like people knew he was an untouchable character, apart from when he got blown up. Because the thing is, we were so close to the end. This is when I feel like it starts getting unsafe for a lot of for everybody, because it's like there's not long enough left for like there's long enough left for it to have an impact, but there's not long enough now for people to be like, oh, I'm not watching the show. Doesn't matter, you're gonna watch the show no matter what happens. You've invested like 10 years of your life into this, you're gonna watch it. So I feel like waiting until the last episode to kill him not only works in their favor, it also makes sense, because
you just saying actually the 10 years thing is a bit mind-blowing. Like, I'd never actually think about the fact it has been that long. Bloody hell. But sorry, that was a tangent. Carry on.
I don't want to think about it too long, because we've already established that we were teenagers when we started watching this, and now we're in our mid-20s. So anyway, but yeah, I guess this just kind of like slowly starts to go into like the predictions of how it's going to end side of things. Levi's, in my opinion, is definitely a goner. I think it's like one of two things. It's obviously going to involve Zeke. So I feel like one of two, one of three. Either they're going to battle, right? And they're going to kill each other.
They definitely are.
But what I'm saying is they're going to battle, and they're either going to kill each other in the process, or Levi's going to kill Zeke, and then his body will just give out because he's got nothing fueling him anymore. Everyone he loves is dead. He has no mission. The rumbling will get stopped. So he's done, right?
We reckon like a 1v1. He finally gets Zeke, and then he's dead too. So they both come out dead.
A secret third option is because Zeke's trapped right now. Like,
Mhm.
it's Erin that's controlling him.
Mhm.
So I think there is a chance that they could meet in like that, other world thing,
Mhm.
and actually have a discussion, like a battle of the minds, if you will, considering all of their fights have been physical. I
Yeah.
actually think I know. See, I don't know how it would play out because I know a lot of people would hate this. Personally, I would love this. I think their final fight to be like a mental battle would be so fitting. And then I really do feel like just both of them giving kind of not giving up, but finding peace and
Mhm.
realizing that they now are both just being used as pawns. So they don't need to be around anymore and they just
Mm.
fade away.
It's like the death of the old guard, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
I yeah, no, I get what you I honestly, usually I can kind of have like a good gut feeling towards things, but this I literally I've got no clue. Just because
Mhm.
it's just a bit wacky. Like this last section of like the story has just been a bit like can't really predict where it's going because it's kind of like a bit back and forth and all over the bloody shop. So
Mhm.
anything I would like to think is going to happen, I feel like just isn't going to happen
I
because
agree.
I
I think, yeah, I said this in our last episode. Attack on Titan's one of the only forms of media. Not that I'm saying I'm great at guessing things, but I can't, nor do I want to know what's happening next,
yeah,
which
I
is
agree.
why I'm really excited because we all know when the final part does actually come out, we will be doing another episode. And I'm really excited to do that one because I am going to delve so deep into the Attack on Titan fandom. It's going to be insane. I'm too scared to do it now because I don't want to see a spoiler for the end.
Hmm.
It's like, how I've managed to avoid it so far, I don't know, because I have gone pretty deep into the fandom. But every time I see like a manga panel come up, I'm like, no, no, go away. I don't want to
Don't
see. I
want to
don't
see
need to see.
anything. Yeah, no, I
It's
agree.
I really don't because I don't know. I feel like it's not gonna be this like out of the blue, because we said this before, that's not what this show is. It's not going to be
Mhm.
this out of the blue unexpected ending. I know that. So I do think I kind of already know. I'm just not thinking too hard about it, but I
Mhm.
just don't want it confirmed. I want to have that, like I said to you, I waited 10 years for this. I
Mm.
really don't want to have it ruined in that last, those last final moments.
I think sometimes you just want to enjoy the ride. You don't want to like worry about like, oh, is this going to work or is it going to go the way I expect it to or the way story structure should dictate or whatever. Like sometimes you do just want to be like, I'm just here for the ride. I'm here to
Yeah.
have fun.
Also,
Uh,
despite everything we've said, I do trust this story. I feel like it's going to end where I think I'm going to be happy with the ending. Whatever
yeah.
happens, I think I'm going to be happy with it.
No, me too. And honestly, I'm just kind of like enjoying watching something that's a bit fun, and it's like balances between like morality and dialogue and action and just has cool animation because like the
Mhm.
animation was really cool this episode.
Yeah, it really was.
When you saw Zeke in his Titan form and it was like kind of like
Yeah.
black and white. I was like, oh, that's
Yeah.
really sick. Like it's like, is
Yeah.
that almost kind of like to like hark back to the manga bit? I wasn't really sure, but
Oh, I
I
didn't
was
think
into
about
it.
that.
Yeah, I was quite into
Yeah, I
it.
like that.
Mm,
I still fucking pissed at the 3D animation that Mappa does though. Like
really.
I'm not even shitting on it. I do think it's really funny, but it's still it's so janky.
I know what you mean.
But
The
other than
3D
that,
the 3D maneuver animation's gotten better though, I will give them that.
oh, it definitely. Well, this
Yeah.
just shows the when you have the time. I still don't think they've
Yeah.
given themselves enough time, and
Mm,
I think the 2 hour long episodes are a product of that because it's
yeah.
like, mate, come on. Like I know we're impatient, but we're also super patient at
Yeah.
the same time. Like we would have waited longer. Like I would have waited until the end of this year or even next year if
Mhm.
like they had gone down the route of either another full series or a film. I
Mhm.
would have waited that little bit longer. But overall, yeah, I don't think it was bad. I didn't look at it this time and I was able to point out a load of flaws like when you go back in season 4 and it's like,
It's
okay,
so horrific.
that
But
was
then
a choice.
even season 1 though, you look back and you're like, the original aired
Yeah.
version, not the cleaned up one, you're like, how did they get away with that?
But then
So
I guess,
bad.
it was, yeah, it's different in the beginning. I think when something's had this fandom for so long and
Mhm.
people do expect more from it. And I don't have a favorite studio. I think it's because the changeover of studios happened kind of at the right time. So like by the time season 4 came around, it was almost like a different show. Like we had jumped ahead, the storyline had gotten a hell of a lot darker, so it made sense to have more of a gritty, kind of almost haunting animation style. So I think it's worked really well.
I mean, yeah, I feel the same. Like everyone that's always like shat on Mappa, I'm like, but would Wit really have been able to do this last part of the show justice? No.
Yeah,
like I'm
I
sorry,
agree.
like their style, like don't get me wrong, it was a cube and it stuck to the manga, but the style of the manga changed significantly over the course. And yeah, I don't know. Even if you look at season 3, like it was starting to look a bit cleaner. It was like getting closer to the Mappa look than people probably realize. Like if you go back to season 3, like, oh yeah, of course, it kind of started to look more adult. The themes got more adult. It got a lot more dark, but I think people got to get over the whole Mappa versus Wet things. At the end of the day, like how many, what is it? It's like 28, 29 episodes now that Mappa have done. And it's like, well, they've nearly done as many as bloody Wet
That's what I
ever
mean,
did.
though. It's just as much their show as it was Wit's show. Like, and it just, like I said, I don't understand. You know, I put out a tweet on the White Noise not that long ago that, like, surprisingly did quite well, just saying how, like, both, like, you don't need to pick one, you don't need to be on a side. Like, you can have a preference, it's fine. It's an art style at the end of the day.
Yeah.
But, like, I really, anybody who, I don't know if anyone did, but anyone who stopped watching it when Mappa took over, like, you weren't, the fuck?
Get
Like, did you even really like the show? Like, it wasn't, it's like you said, because they were already starting to change things in season 3 anyway, it wasn't even that shocking.
I agree. I'm like, if you couldn't accept it was going to change, then like, why are you even invested? Because this show, I mean, I get it. A lot of people that are into anime are people that are into visuals, are people that are into the like the medium of animation, so they're there largely for the visual. But like the whole point of this show is more about narrative than anything and about characters. So if you're that pissed off about the look, then maybe just watch something else.
I also feel like with that, you are right, obviously at the end of the day it's animation, so the art style is important, but with anime specifically, like when you really think about it, you spend so much time just staring at one panel while the main character has a thought process that it's like Attack on Titan is one of the most dynamic animes out there right now. Like it's changing the game. There are a lot more that have come since, and it's, you know, I'm sure it would be the way forward now, but we all like, we're old enough now to remember when, yeah, you would be literally watching an anime and for like 10 minutes, you would just be staring at the same art panel. And we all accepted that. Yeah, but it's true. You know what I mean? So, to be honest, even bringing up Death Note, like you're right. It's Death Note was like a whole different kettle of fish. It was like Death Note was a lot more, well, it was all mind games, wasn't it? So you weren't going to have like super dynamic scenes. And you know, when they did do dynamic scenes, it was when he was fucking eating potato chips.
And it was bloody brilliant.
It was. Maybe we should do a Death Note episode one day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But to stay on Attack on Titan, yeah, I don't understand anybody who decided to stop watching it simply because the art style changed, and it did not even change that drastically.
It's like I can get why they did it, but like I'm also like, if you've already committed so long into a show, like really,
why would you do that to yourself?
Yeah, I don't really get that. But also like, who would say that it was all going to stick to the same animation studio anyway? It's not like it's unheard of that this happens.
I mean, films change directors.
Exactly.
Like,
I guess
it happens.
people just weren't used to it because it is like quite a different style. Like, but I kind of respect that on Mappa's part though. Like, rather than being like, oh, we're going to completely copy Wit. But then they do pay respect to Wit though, because when they do like the same scenes, they do kind of like do subtle little adjustments to make it look a little bit closer to Wit's style, so it's less jarring. I actually think that's really cool, personally.
I think so too. I think they're doing a great job. Mappa, if you're listening, bravo from us. You know, you have fans with us forever. We're very happy with what you're doing. Just yeah, in the future, maybe don't split the final part into 2-hour-long episodes. That's what I'm asking for.
No, I just like, if we're gonna have one takeaway from this whole episode, it's just I don't think we're fans of the 2-hour-long thing.
No,
really not. It's weird because it makes it seem like a bigger deal while also making it not.
Yeah, I know, I agree. There was so much hype around this anyway that, like you said, splitting it into those two parts built up the hype even more. And I did love it. I mean, if you're watching us on YouTube, you can't deny we're fans of the show. But I was left a little disappointed by the pacing, mainly because of the way the episode was framed. If it hadn't been for that, if they had decided to do like 2 20-minute or like 4 20-minute episodes instead, I think that would have worked better, because you would have had that time to sit on the things and digest the things that had happened. Hopefully we'll get that when it's all over and we can like watch it as a complete.
Yeah, true. But I mean, like, if I'm gonna be real, if we're like, say, this is kind of us also looking back at the show as a whole, really, isn't it? While we come to the end, the whole show has not exactly been one for fast pacing. Female Titan arc,
True.
what a slog, honestly.
Yeah. No, you are right.
Yeah, like, it's a very weird show in that, like, you think, oh, for quite little episodes, so much happens, but at the same time, there's parts where so little happens, and it's,
Yeah.
I think, like, maybe we're a bit stupid to think these last two parts were going to be any different.
I think it's because, like I said, we're coming to the end now, so we're like, come on, wrap it up.
Yeah, I feel like I just kind of have this feeling in my gut, like, is the end just going to feel really abrupt?
I don't know. I don't think so. That wasn't a thought in
Mm,
my head. It's now a fear I have. Thank you for
right.
that. But no, I think I really do. I really hope I don't look back on this and regret saying this, but
Mhm.
I think it's going to be good. I'm really excited for it because I think a big battle's coming, and Attack on Titan's all about the battles, so I'm really excited for
Mhm.
that. Feel weird about that. It's probably going to happen in an open space
Yeah, like,
because of
on his bloody back.
yeah,
Kind of cool,
that's
though, it's different.
it's kind of cool, very strange.
Mm.
So I'm excited for it. That's going to be different. We're going to have a lot of Titan jump in.
The actual physics of the fight are gonna be interesting,
I
especially
think
things
they
like the
are,
way
yeah.
Mappa are gonna animate it.
And also because you're going to have the main team going after Eren, but
Yeah.
all Levi's going to care about is his baby boy Zeke.
I know, it's actually gonna be a bit horrible. I'm just trying to think about, like, the way they're actually gonna fight Eren in the form he's in. Like, my brain's just a bit like,
I don't think they go in. I think a physical fight's not the way it's going to happen. This is
okay,
why
yeah.
I really don't think the Levi Zeke mental battle is going to happen, because that's going to be Armin and Eren. That's how they're going to
Okay.
do it. They're not going to fight each other. Like, this was proven when, Eren beat the shit out of him in the first place. Armin isn't a fighter. He really
Very
isn't.
true.
And I don't know how I would feel if they just decided to make him one in that moment
Mm,
because, he was, and I mean, it would, in a weird way, it would make sense because you get pushed to a certain point, but I don't want that to happen because that's not the kind of character he is, and he's stayed true to that, and
mhm.
I don't want that to change. Like, he fucking hates that he's a Titan. He doesn't
That's
want to be this destructive force.
that's one thing I do really like about Armin is right up now until the end, he's remained still that person he was in the beginning. Same with Mikasa. Like, don't get me wrong, they've changed and grown, but they are still those people.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think is really cool. But I think I have my prediction for how it's going to end, which
Go
I feel
on,
like is obvious and everyone knows.
but go
Well,
on.
Mikasa's going to kill him. Like, it's obvious.
Yeah,
Everyone knows.
I was really, I was in like big denial about that because I really didn't want it to happen, but yeah,
The way
it's
they
gonna
keep
happen.
bloody going on about it, you know it
Yeah.
is. Like, maybe not in the way everyone expects, but it is definitely going to be the way. And to be honest, I don't think I would want it any other way,
I
really.
agree. I completely agree. I think it would be weird. Like, I had this whole idea of like him and Jean having a fight,
Mm.
but honestly, because they didn't make him the commander, I really think Jean's taking a back seat, and
Yeah, which is
we
kind
ain't
of
gonna see.
unfortunate.
It is really unfortunate. I think his whole end might be trying to protect Connie when something happens because one of
Mm.
them two is gonna die. I'm really not sure who, because I don't know who it makes sense to die, but I think one of them's gonna die.
I feel like it would make sense for Connie too.
I think it makes sense for Connie as well.
Yeah.
And then yeah, Mika's is definitely going to kill Eren. I think it's going to be one of those going to embrace moments, then like a secret little sneaky
Yeah.
stab,
What a
But I
very
think
like
it.
Jon Snow Daenerys kind
Ex-
of thing.
oh, I didn't think about that. So fucking true. Yeah, that's how I think it's going to happen.
Brilliant. Do you have any other predictions?
Not really. Like, I had a lot of ideas just before this episode came out, but now that I've seen it, it's like there is just one end game now. We don't have
Mm.
multiple stories to close. We've got one story.
Yeah, it's just kind of waiting to see how it happens, isn't it? There's not really
Yeah.
any more like, oh, I have a theory about this or that. It's just, well, we're at the last fight. It's only going to go
Yeah.
one way. So
Mm-hmm.
quite excited to watch it.
Me too.
I think it's very bizarre to like not have like, like the whole date thing that's come and everything that happened with Crunchyroll and everything. This is like a very weird way to be seeing a show that's so iconic wrap up,
Yeah. This is why I'm hoping that like we need to get this first episode out of the way.
Mhm.
It was still a good episode. I don't know exactly how what we've said is going to come across as a whole unit, but we did enjoy it, and I do think it was good. I think it was a good setup.
Yeah.
So I'm ready. I think it needed to be done, and I'm ready for the payoff now, and I'm ready for the whole world to go fucking crazy like we did when season 4, the second part of season 4 was coming out.
Oh, everyone went fucking bonkers.
I'm ready for that again.
As much as I've been enjoying like all the like everyone posting online, it's not as fun. I guess because it is just getting really sad towards the end. But like when season 4 part 2 was coming out week to week, like the memes, the TikToks, like it was
Yeah.
just so brilliant. And because we're not getting week to week, I feel like a bit robbed of that.
Yeah.
Do you
But
know
then
what I
I don't
mean?
know. Honestly, apart from the Levi fingers joke, and I guess in a really dark way, that meme that came out of that guy shooting himself as the Titans were walking towards him, I can't really think of any parts of it that could have been memed. So I don't know. Maybe in a way it's like I said, get it out of the way, and then give us this end, because it's different now. Like, this is the ending. Like, this is seriously, Anna. No time for funnies. We're in the end game.
No memes.
No memes.
No fan cams.
No meme-free zone.
I feel like that's us wrapping up, honestly, because all we really had to talk about today was this one episode. I feel like the next one is going to be beefy.
I think so too. The next one might even be multiple episodes. We'll really have to see how it goes, because I'm ready to just let my Attack on Titan freak flag fly, because I'm going to be able to I might even read the manga. I don't know. I'm going to go crazy.
You're crazy. You're crazy.
Yeah.
No, I'm the same though. Like, I read the manga back when, and then obviously I stopped when I got more into the anime, because I was like, okay, I want to like, myself personally, I wanted to focus on one. But yeah, I'm kind of almost excited for it to end, just so I can then like enjoy it in its other format. That's the fun of anime that comes from a manga. It's beautiful thing.
In the meantime, I'm gonna go back and rewatch Attack on Titan Junior High, just to maybe have a little bit of fun before the seriousness returns.
Junior High is so funny to me, honestly.
Do you know what? We'll do a mini-sode on that someday. After it's all over, we'll do a mini-sode on it, because it's great.
We just do one on all the extra content, so like Junior High and the the lost chapters stuff.
Oh yeah,
I love those, but they're controversial in their own right. Some people really don't like those.
Okay, you know what? We will. I think yeah, we can get into it. This episode's going to be way too long.
Yeah,
but
no, we're not. Now is not the time.
We'll squirrel it away. Like, just after the final episodes aired, we'll do an episode on that, and then maybe a few months down the line, when you're just starting to forget about Attack on Titan, we'll swing right back in.
Yeah, but salt in the wound. We'll bring it right back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that's everything for today. I'm happy to hear that you had as mixed feelings about it as I did, because like I was a bit worried I was going to come into this like not on the same level or something.
I knew you were going to feel this way, because I felt this way, because I agree. Yeah. I feel like the only other way it could have gone is you to feel this way and me to be like, no, you're totally wrong.
I agree.
But no, yeah. I knew you were going to agree with me. I got you. I'm in your mind.
But yeah, so if you enjoyed this, please, if you are watching on YouTube, leave a like and subscribe, because it really helps us out. Any other platform, please leave a like. Honestly, it's been really great, because we've been like getting a lot more engagement lately, which is really lovely to see. And it'd just be really nice to hear all your thoughts about this episode of Attack on Titan, because I would love to know if we've not been the only ones, if other people had mixed feelings. Not really seen any mixed feelings on socials, so I'd like to hear it from others.
Same. I think everyone's being quiet. So you can be honest here. No judgment from us, at least.
Safe space for it.
Yeah. It is a safe space. Yeah, just go for it.
So yeah, we're always happy to interact on socials. We absolutely love hearing from all you guys. So yeah, let us know on socials what you thought of the episode, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Yeah, bye.